Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great day, and we're all getting started off for a really good week in our businesses. And I appreciate you being with us tonight. This is part 6 of an 8-part series about getting started in business this year, or we're expanding your business. And tonight's class is a continuation of that effort, and we're going to be focusing on cash flow, financing documents, funding a business, and fundraising. So it's one of the core topics, processes in our ongoing learning about startup businesses and moving forward. And I'm so glad that you're all with us tonight. My name is Steve Carver. My presentation number 1276, and we're certainly glad to have you with us. I'm located in Dunn, North Carolina. And thank you for joining me, and you're always welcome to send email requests for additional information or ask questions or any way I can help you. The best way to communicate with me is through email with one of these 2 email addresses. So stay in touch with me, and I'll stay in touch with you. I'm not a lawyer or a CPA. I'm a fellow that's been in business for 67 years and counting. Still doing business nationwide, selling parts for farm equipment every day, and also serving entrepreneurs like you guys as much as I can. We're sponsored tonight by the Small Business Center at James Sprunk Community College in Warsaw and in Kenansville. The director there is Joey Wynn. She is the wonderful director and looking forward to helping you any way she possibly can. If you're located in the Dublin County or Greene County area of North Carolina, Joy is your small business center, and she's looking forward to hearing from you. Give her a call at 910-659-6008. Set up an appointment and take advantage of all the free services and information available to you. It's confidential, and it's free, and it's professional. I sincerely suggest that you go for it. If you're not in touch with a small business center in your area and don't know how to get in touch with them, you just drop me an email or go over and chat and tell me your name, email address, and what city you're in, and I'll make the arrangements to get you in touch with a small business center near you and be glad to do it. With all of our classes, we try to send you study guides to give you all the information you need to get the most out of them. If you have signed up in advance, the Small Business Center sends you the study guides, and then I'll send them again to you tomorrow, provided I have your email address, and I'll be glad to do that. These study guides can be very helpful for you, so I suggest that you save them and read them and check them out, refer back to them when you need to, and we'll be certainly glad to help you in any way we can. Tonight, we're talking primarily about cash flow. And next week, in week 7, we'll be focusing on business skills, enhancing your skills, focusing on bookkeeping, forecasting, and negotiating with lots of new information. These classes I've been doing for 19 years, but every new class has new information in it. And I try to give all of you that are returning from previous classes new information each time. So we look forward to having you back in every one of our classes. So next week is week 7 with bookkeeping and forecasting, negotiating. And then the following week, we'll wrap up this semester looking at taxes and record keeping and selling secrets, items that help you close sales for win-win propositions. Y'all that are with me tonight already understand that you're are able to earn certificates, and we're certainly glad to send them to you. If you attend at least 6 of our 8 classes in this semester, you automatically earn a certificate of achievement. You attend 7 of the 8 classes and do some homework assignments, then you can advance in academy membership and move forward from there. I do keep up with attendance, and when I do flash these attendance records, if you notice that I have anything wrong on them, if I don't have the right attendance numbers for your personal attendance, just drop me an email or put a note in the chat, and I'll certainly make the corrections. I have a lot to keep up with, and especially this semester with so many people attending, it's mighty easy to get confused with them. just as it is with keeping up with the academy advancement. And that if I get it wrong, I'm glad to correct it, and I will certainly appreciate you letting me know if you see any errors that I'm making. But I do appreciate your attendance, and just noticing here we've got quite a few of you that have attended. Either all have perfect attendance up to now, or maybe have only missed one date, and so very appreciative of that, and look forward to continuing to work with you as we go to make that happen. So thank you all for being here and making that work. So let's talk about we finished up a week before last the semester as we were going in our business succession and faithful legacy series. Let me say a special thank you to some of you who attended that series and recognize you for your work. First of all, Sherry McQuarrie is the first member of the Academy to win first in class for 2 times. Sherry won in the last semester with her 100% attendance and participating in every class and having lots to offer. Certainly do appreciate her work, and congratulations to Sherry. As soon as I sent her the certificate, she sent me a note right back telling her I got her number wrong, and I want to reaffirm that she is a Master 4 member now and doing a great job. So congratulations, Sherry. Sarita now is a Master 16, doing a great job. Sarita Sampson in Clinton. And there's Dr. Mary Young, who's with us right now over at Warrington. She also is a Master 4 Academy member, and thank you so much, Mary, for your work. And I may have gotten your certificate incorrect also, but I'll fix it next time for sure. So let's talk about Mary a little bit. She has a fantastic offering of books that she is offering, and we're going to get to you the best websites to find her books and to order them from her. Mary does a wonderful job in the education field and personal counseling field. Has a great selection of books, and we're so proud and honored to call Mary a friend and a good classmate for all of us. So thank you very much for doing that. We're looking forward to seeing your name in the headlines as being a New York bestseller one day, and keep putting the good work out there. Just a great range of books that I'm showing you now in the slides to help in education and personal growth and spiritual growth. Thank you again, Mary, for all that you're doing to try to help people along the way, and we're really proud of you so much. Edna, good to have you back with us tonight. Edna Jackson, a Master 7 Academy member, and also finished last semester and to advance. Now for our attending members this time, we got Kenzie Roper in Staley with her KR Crafts. She's doing a great job of promoting her products, and we certainly look forward to working with her. And Elisa Lambert in Ashboro with Faith Flowers and Crafts, moving her products forward. She's doing a great job. She's already has 667 followers at Facebook, and even more people following her online. So that's what we all need to do. And Jennifer is staying with us 100% of the time. She's doing a great job in getting her new business up and running, Baker Accounting Services over in Clayton. She has sent to us a brand new mission, vision, and promises statements, and just doing a lot of work in getting her new business up and running. We appreciate that. She sent us her business plan, her profit centers and such as that. Because she hadn't made these public yet, she did send them to me, but I blocked them out as confidential, but recognizing the fact that she's working hard and doing it first class. So when she goes public with all this, it'll really be good, and really proud of you, Jennifer, to keep that work up. Here's Ray Fox in Oriental. And David, you just asked me about Ray. Here's his picture and his logo and such as that. You can find him on Facebook at Outboard Service Solutions LLC if you just want to send him a Facebook note, because he'll answer you right up there. So Ray is staying real busy getting his new company up and running. We're really proud of him. He is advertising his certificates and for his work on the outboard engines to prove to people that he is a certified mechanic. Coming forward with some great pictures, and down in the Oriental area, I want to tell you there's a lot of boats down there, so hopefully Ray's business will grow and grow real fast. Congratulations to Eric Daniels in Fayetteville, a new Academy associate. He's got a lot going on, a great military history, and thinking about maybe going into 1 or 5 different ways. We've talked personally, and looking forward to Eric getting settled in and going forward with the business he decides to go forward. And here's Sonia Roberts. Hey, Sonia, glad to have you with us tonight. So proud of your work and your achieving Master 5 associate member status. Thank you so much for all that you're doing. David, hey, David, good to have you back with us tonight. David finished up last time as a Master 1 member, and so thankful for your continued support, and looking forward to watching your business take off and grow as the fall season comes in. Johnson Sheffield, a CPA in Warsaw, North Carolina, is now a Master 1 associate member and a contributor here. We're certainly glad to have Johnson join us whenever he can. Shannon Keene is in Fashion. He's an advanced associate member in the electrical business. Kia Morrill is in Kenansville as an associate member. And there's Chessa. Hey, Chessa, good to have you with us tonight. Thank you for your military service and all that you're doing, and looking forward to working with you any way we can to help you reach your goals to getting a group home started, maybe in Fayetteville. Kelly Gay is over in the mountains in Tryon, Soil and Water Conservation District Director, and a loyal member of the Academy and contributor to our discussions. Thank you so much. I want you all, if you would, to find me on Facebook. Let's share information. If I can find you, we will certainly do all we can to promote your business, and we'll go from there. And so let me just mention to you, I just put a message up on chat, a repeat message, and let me ask you all, if you haven't signed in there with your name, city, and email address, I'd appreciate you doing that. Hey, Olva, good to have you with us tonight. I don't remember seeing you before, so we'll certainly give you a big welcome. Glad to have you with us. Please, if you don't mind, signing in on chat and giving us your city and any information you'd like about your business going forward. You're certainly welcome to do that. Again, find me on Facebook and check in, and we'll do all we can to help promote your business, as we've been working real hard the last couple of weeks to do that. My job is to be assertive and to help motivate. I'll certainly do that. And so we get, during this series, we're looking at a quote from famous folks talking about getting small businesses started. Walt Disney told us in our first week, let's stop talking about it and start doing it. And that's certainly what we try to do on Monday nights. And then Mike Ventura said, in business, there's not really a finish line, because we want to keep it going. It's just taking it 1 mile mark at a time. And each one of these flashes can serve as a mile marker for you. So thank you for continuing to come back. Bill Gates reminded us that we'll learn more from trying to help our unhappy customers, because they're going to tell us how we can improve our business. So our greatest source of learning is to go after our customers that have a problem and try to fix those problems, and that helps us improve our business altogether. Nelson Boswell reminded us that a great way to have customers keep coming back to you is to always give them a little bit more than they expect. Go a little bit of the extra mile to give them a little bit more than they expect. And I want to tell you that is a very much a true statement. I feel a lot of parts orders here at my office, and customers are sending parts orders, and I keep a certain amount of parts here, and I'll box them up and pack them. And 2 years ago, I started, when I packed those boxes, to start putting little bags of mint candy in the package, so when they often open them up, they'd get a little surprise. And I've had such great response from that. Goodwill, good messages, just a little thing, probably not even $1 worth of sweetness, but it certainly puts a good taste in people's mouths. So anything that you can do goes a long, long way to create goodwill and people staying with you. Mark Zuckerberg is in the news a whole lot. He said a long time ago, and I have to agree with him, the biggest risk that maybe you'll take getting a business started is not taking any risk at all. The biggest risk you'll take is not taking any risk at all. So I think that's exactly right with Mark. And Mark does a lot that I don't really agree with, but I do agree with that. And here's where I'll have to chime in from a lesson that I got yesterday in Sunday school, that the biggest risk, not taking a risk at all. If you want to encourage people to be the best that they can be, then the biggest risk you can take is not showing them that you're being the best that you can be, not testifying to your belief and encouraging them to join with you and doing the best that we can do. Don't want to get religious here, but proving to people that you do have a moral compass is a risk, but it's a risk worth taking. And during the last 10 years, I've taken those risks online, and it's a kind of a tough place to do it. But I encourage you to be willing to take the risk to let people know that you are a truth teller, that you do believe in doing the right thing, and I try to help people and be a blessing to other people. And that way you help people have a blessed day. And that's taking a risk. Do that as a business person. Your job is to find the endurance to stay in the game. That is the toughest part of making a sustainable business stay on board for a while is endurance, being willing to keep hanging in there and to do that. Let me mention right now, David Raymond has just came on board. Raymond's on board. You should be able to see his email address or send him a chat message right now about the issues that you were talking about. Ray, David Mays wanted to ask you some questions, and y'all can do that in chat.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, so let me tell you about a true story that I've told before, but we've got some people on board tonight that I don't think have heard about it. So let me just share something you'll find interesting. I want to carry you back to 1849. 1849. In those years across the world, something was happening, and certainly it was happening in America as well. Do y'all remember what was going on in the United States in 1849? Well, I can give you a brief hint when we talk about the San Francisco 49ers, because that's when we had the gold rush, the 1849 gold rush, and those people were called the 49ers. Well, people all around the world were looking for ways to make more money, and the easiest way you could make fast money. And that was true in America and all around the world, and it was true in South Africa at the time. And in South Africa, people were more interested in finding diamonds than they were gold, and that was going on. And a fellow named Ali Hafid had a farm in South Africa that he had saved his money up for, and he moved his family out there and was farming this land. And it was awful land. It was rocky and very little nutrients, and just wouldn't grow hardly anything. And he had, year after year, he couldn't make a crop on it enough to even feed livestock. So indeed, he got to a point that he lost the interest, and he heard about the diamonds being found all over South Africa in certain places. So every time he could, he would leave his farm and go out prospecting for diamonds. And he did that for 4 or 5 years, to the point that he had no luck at all, got sick, got depressed, ended up killing himself, throwing himself in a river, and losing everything that he had, and his family lost everything that he had, and such as that. Well, the people that bought his farm were from the city, and they were having a dinner party one night a year or so later, and one of the guests at the dinner party noticed a big rock that the new owner had found and put up on his fireplace. The guest was a gemologist and picked it up and scratched around on it and asked the new owner where he found this rock, and his name was Kimberly, and he said, well, I just thought it was interesting. I found it out in the field. He said, the ground's covered with them out there. The gemologist scratched around on it and found out. He said, well, sir, you've got the biggest diamond here that I have ever seen. And it was the biggest diamond that had ever been found at the time. And it's called the Kimberly diamond, and it was huge and worth zillions of dollars, and it was big news all around the world. And that Kimberly diamond, that fella now bought that farm, and it's still today one of the biggest diamond mining areas in the world. Huge pits, and they're still collecting diamonds out of there every single day. It's just incredible. They built a city around the diamond mines, actually, and the Kimberly Diamond Company is still just amazing how many billions of dollars that they have made. So what is our lesson learned here? The gentleman who owned the farm to begin with left his farm and went out prospecting for years, killed his health, killed himself and his family. His family lost everything they had. And indeed, the whole time he owned acres of diamonds. The message is he just didn't know what to look for. And we all tend to go out and look for greener pastures sometime. And each of us may be in our own middle of our own acre of diamonds. And if we just stop and try to realize how we can make the best of it and take advantage of what we have right in front of us and the resources we have, indeed, maybe your acres of diamonds can come through for you too. So I salute you, because that's what entrepreneurship is all about, trying to find the ways that we can take advantage of the assets that we have and go forward with it. And I sincerely hope that you will consider this message. It was a tremendous message for me when I had some really depressed times after my father had died, and I had to take over the business with very little experience, and just got into a pity party for myself and for a while, and just figuring out, everything seemed dark. But one day, after listening to this message from Mr. Earl Nightingale, and one of these tapes that we used to listen to back in the 80s, I said to myself, I need to quit being pitiful and think about the assets we had. I had good employees. I had a good customer base. I was located in a good area. Economic times were really awful at that particular time, but I had enough base to go forward with. And this is the basis of understanding that I try to share with you all, that if you've got a good group of Raven fan customers and an established business, if you'll follow some basic core skills and keep them to work, as we are teaching in this series, you've got an excellent chance of having a sustainable business that'll make it for many, many years. And I hope that for you. It certainly had worked for me. And we just have to see, we just have to stop and open our eyes to see the vision, take time, maybe talk to some other people that'll help us to see what you actually have, and then make it work for you to go a long, long way. So in the handouts I've sent to you, I sent you some more pictures and information about acres of diamonds. I want you to own this story. I want you to share it, because every time you share it with someone else, it'll reinforce your belief in taking advantage of the acres of diamonds that you already have. So a footnote that I mention oftentimes, what's going to give you to stay in power, and what's going to give you the cash flow that you need to stay in business. Very simple. Keep this in mind. You want to offer to your clients things that people need and also things that people want. And those will be your profit centers, the things you're selling, things that they need and things that they want. And if you do that and you have that combination of diversity, then you're going to be able to say to them, thank you for buying this, and by the way, we've also got this and that. So keep that in mind. Have things that people want and things that people need. We'll skip the drill skills tonight. Next week, we'll pick up number 33 through 40. But if it's your first time with us tonight, I'd like for you to pay close attention to the study guide that I'm sending to you about drill skills. Pay some attention to that and on them. So talking about our main topic tonight, that old thing called cash flow. We got to have it. It's like, how do we keep that spigot open and not letting it close to keep that cash coming in, right? That's what we need to do. Fundraising, documents, funding, always on your mind when you're in business. So we need to maintain enough cash flow to stay alive, no doubt about that. But we also need to maintain enough cash flow in such a way that we're building towards a system in our business that we don't have to worry about it every single minute. Indeed, if you've got a good marketing plan that's doing what needs to be done, then you'll have cash flow coming in. And what are the main factors to do that? Number one, let me suggest to you that awareness, just having your mental state, you're always knowing that you're going to be staying aware of how much money you got in the bank and looking forward to how much you're going to need on a certain day, so that it's just a matter of the way you're planning and the way that you're thinking, so that you don't have those surprises that none of us want. We want good surprises, right? Next, number two, it's so important that you start from day one doing your best to create a savings account or a cash reserve account to make regular deposits into a savings account, because there will be emergencies. There will be things that come along that you had no idea were there, and I will assure you that old Murphy's Law is going to say they're going to come at the worst time for you. So even though you're just getting started and you're having a hard time of collecting money or making deposits, every time you get a deposit in, do your best to have a separate account that you can put a little bit of money into your savings account and start building that. You won't ever regret it, and it'll save you a lot of money down the road in interest, but mainly in anxiety, because then you know that if you do have a slow month or some surprises, that maybe you can make it and not have to go out of business, because these surprises put a lot of new businesses right out of order. Forecasting is the big word, and very few entrepreneurs that are just getting started are used to using the word forecasting, but I drill it, and I want to keep drilling it, because forecasting, looking forward, not pretending you have a crystal ball, but professionally, forecasting is a big deal about anticipating future payments, anticipating future expenses. That's going to make you a better money manager, and we're going to do that. Now, next week, we'll talk very seriously about forecasting and have a lot of information to move us in the right direction there. Number 4, and this is when we get in a bind, in a cash flow bind, and we see that things are going the wrong way, we got a lot more money going out than coming in. What I want to say to you is, if you have forecasted and you can kind of see that coming, the way to get out of the cash flow situation is the best way to do it is to start selling, is to sell more stuff, is to make more sales, create more cash flow coming in by selling stuff. Do not get into the habit of saying, well, if my cash flow goes weak, then I'll just borrow some more money. I'll just borrow some more money and make it through this rough patch, and someday I'll pay it back as soon as I can. And that's an easy habit to start, and I don't want you to go that way. You may have to from time to time, but the first impression or the first action to take when you forecasting that you've got a cash flow problem coming is not to say, well, I'll just borrow some more money, or I'll use my credit line, or I'll use my savings. I want you to say to yourself, okay, I know how to market now. I know how to add profit centers. I know how to do special advertising promotions to create cash flow, because you attended these seminars. You know some good stuff now. Let's put it to work. Put it to work. Put your golden goose marketing plan to work to create additional cash flow. And once you start doing that year after year, it's really going to help your business grow and do a lot better. And lastly, is collect the money. Don't pretend that you're a bank. Don't pretend that you can extend credit to people and them not pay you exactly when they're supposed to. You have to be hard-nosed and hard-line when you're collecting money, and to be assertive, to motivate people to pay you properly. And I'll say to you now, we'll mention it later, but the way you avoid credit problems is generally the documents that you're using or the terms you're using on your invoices. So as you're doing business, you got to put that teeth. You got to put that teeth in your invoices and in your contracts to make sure you get paid when you're supposed to. With the different ways that people can pay you now with credit cards or different types of funding situations, they pay you online, there's no reason at all for you to say to yourself, well, I need to pretend to be a bank and extend credit to customers. Now, I, for one, know, because I'm in a business that has to extend credit from time to time, but I want to tell you, it is nothing like it used to be. very special circumstances that you will extend open account credit to people. And that's generally when you're doing wholesale business. So if you're not wholesaling, then you're probably not going to have to take any credit risk. So don't let people talk you into financing deals for them when they can easily pay you with a credit card or make their own arrangements, or you can offer a third-party financing situation from them where they can borrow money from somebody else and pay you exactly when they're supposed to. So you got to collect those bills. Lastly, don't panic. Don't panic. Panic gets us in trouble more than anything else. Have a plan. You're here tonight, and I'm saying to you, yes, I'm glad that you're here. And the takeaway tonight is know that you don't need to panic, but to try to forecast and have a plan in advance to help you move forward as you go forward. So I've got you a lot of study guides tonight, so I want you to spend time with those. I'll read through them. None of them are too long. None of them are very complicated, but each one of them will be a good reminder for you. So put your study guide on your computer screen in a file and go to those and find the times to read them. So how to accelerate cash flow, that's a good tip slide here to go for. So if you implement these strategies to accelerate your cash flow, there's a good chance that you'll get your money when you need to, and it will reduce your risk. It will reduce your risk big time, and so you don't have uncollectible payments. That's why I wanted to send that to you. So where can we find this money that we need? Do we need a helping hand? You can't do it by yourself. You need a helping hand. Well, let me just be frank and honest here now. After 68 years, I can tell you that there is helping hands out there for you, but they're at the end of your own arms. You're at the end of your own arms. And tonight's presentation is all about what you can do with your mindset and things that you can do to help you with cash flow issues and funding issues. There are some outside helps like that, and we'll talk about them. But the motivation needs to be with you, and you need to have that understanding. Right here at the end of our own arms is the way that we can stay in business. I've had to do it every day for 68 years to be aware of it, and I've asked for a lot of help, but the biggest help I've come from is people that gave me advice, encouraging me to get my own head thinking about it and figure out ways to pull myself up by the bootstraps and make it work. And I want to encourage y'all to have that same forceful, positive attitude to do that. We are so fortunate to have the small business centers close by to help you. And again, in cash flow issues, they've got ideas that maybe you never dreamed of, and they've got all types of resources. People like me, lots of people like me that can give good professional counseling and that good ear to listen to. So if you feel like you're in a bind and just need a sounding board of ideas, you go see your small business center director and make things happen. Now, I'm very much a realist. I got started because my daddy got started. My daddy got started because his mother had some money buried in a mason jar out in the yard to help him get started in business. So we didn't come from old money and deep pockets, and still don't. So I know that you, like I, have to play with the cards we have. We're not a Trump. We're not a billionaire. We don't have millions of dollars that someone can just hand to us, and if you lose this, you lose it. It ain't that way. We're talking about our lifeblood, our income, our personal security for ourselves and our family. That's the hand we're dealt with, and by golly, that's what we're going to do to make it work. So cash flow funding, money management is all about our future, and what I want to encourage us now to think about, it's not a Las Vegas gambling game. And some folks just approach it that way. We don't want to take the risk to lose our life savings and our future financial security. So let's build a financial foundation. Tonight's program is titled Building a Financial Foundation, and it all has to do with how we approach cash flow and funding to make that happen. Every small business will fail if the cash flow doesn't work. And managing money is one of the most critical, important things that a new entrepreneur can do, and it's overwhelming sometimes to consider how to do it. So what's old Steve-O saying to you? What's Uncle Steve, old Papa Steve-O here suggesting? I'm suggesting that we have a plan and we try to create a very clear roadmap of the different ways that's going to help us manage our money, our sales, and our marketing, so it all keeps this wheel rolling that we've talked about, and we connect the dots in such a way that gives us that roadmap to ensure that we can survive and that we can grow. It's important that we do more than survive. If you're just surviving every day, you're always, for the rest of your business life, worrying about survival. But if you're surviving and figuring out how to grow, then that's going to take a lot of the anxieties and the stress off of you. So our plan needs to be put together. Your plan needs to be put together with a willingness to set priorities. Not just say you're going to do it, but to write them down, have that budgeting plan, that business plan. Create that base budget that we talked about in week 2. Put together some projections with our business models. That this is where you start your forecasting skills, and knowing right now that every time that we can add a raving fan customer as one of our assets, that is a big deal. And we're going to start keeping up with these customers and start creating that database so we can send to our database fresh information about our marketing plan. And if we want to have regular deposits coming in on a regular basis, then we need to be making regular sales on a regular basis, which means we have to keep sending out promotions on a regular basis. It all ties together to keep that circle going around. So what is the priority is to put these keys together to master cash flowing in your business and to find the funding methods and the tools and the strategies that every day you know basically what you need to do. And if one thing doesn't happen, you know what needs to come next. Now, I'm sitting here talking about a lot of things that you need to do, and I apologize for having to say that because I know you've already got a full plate. But this is the facts, Jack. If you're in entrepreneurship in a small business, the cash flow's got to come, and it's not going to come unless you plan for it to. The stuff just isn't going to fall out like manna out of the sky. We have to have a plan that creates it, and once we are able to start collecting some money, is to understand how to manage it to help us stay in business. Now, to talk real plain talk now, a lot of folks come to our classes, brand new entrepreneurs, saying, well, hey, I see on TV where people are getting free money. There's all these entrepreneur programs out to help small businesses get started. And there is a lot of stuff out here to help small businesses get started. I'm one of them. The small business centers are all about helping you small business folks get started. But I want to tell you that the dream of getting a grant, some free money to help a for-profit business get up and running, it's almost a pipe dream. It almost never happens. Sometimes it does. And the good news is that if there's money out there to help small businesses get up and running, free money or low interest money, the Small Business Center are the people who know what's available in your area. That's one of the greatest assets they have. They are in touch on a daily basis with all the people, all the banks, all the financial institutions, anyone that's got good programs for startup businesses. The Small Business Centers are going to be aware of it statewide. That's why they have a statewide network. So that's the good news. But the reality is, when that's not there, as most of the time it's not, then what are we going to do? Well, then I want to say, have to go borrow the money, right? And borrowing money is tough for a startup business. And why is that? The reason is that new small businesses have an awful record of being able to stay in business for more than 3 to 5 years. They just have a history of going out of business because all the negatives that oftentimes comes up, and they didn't come to our webinars like you're here tonight, didn't get the basics before they got started. So they jumped into it, borrowed money, can't pay it back, go out of business, and it hurts us all. But you can borrow money if you've got some favorable considerations, if you're a promising possibility. So what does promising mean? Well, to young folks and brand new startups that hadn't ever borrowed money or getting a business started, the credit worthiness is real. And a lender wants to know that you are worthy of credit. And what makes people worthy of considerations to get a loan? Number one is, have you a proven record of borrowing money and paying it back? Well, I can say that really quick, but someone that's young that's never borrowed money, the answer is going to be no, I don't have a proven record. I've never borrowed the money. So there's a strike against you right to begin with. But we can get past that with things like, can you make some down payment? Are you making a significant amount of down payment? Or in other words, how much skin do you have in the game? The lender wants to know that you're willing to invest your money in this business before you ask them to invest their money. And that's reasonable. That makes sense. But if you're young and you're just getting started and you don't have any down payment money, then there's another strike against you. Well, again, something else that'll help you. Well, if you don't have down payment, do you have some collateral you can put up? What do you have? What do you own that there's no debts on that you own that you can say, if you'll loan me this money, I'll put up this collateral, and if I don't pay you back, then you can sell the collateral to get your money back, Mr. Banker. Well, that's pretty good. So, but again, young folks sometimes just don't have any collateral yet. You're just getting started. So there's 3 strikes against you. So that's why it's hard. The reality is it's hard. It's difficult for a new business, especially young folks, to borrow money to get their new business started. And that's just the way it is. And especially even if you have collateral, when we were coming along back in the baby boomer days in the 50s and 60s, if you had something worth $100, you could pretty much borrow $100 on it now. But in today's world, if you got something that's worth $300, you might be able to borrow $100 on it. So the bankers are a lot more picky on that, and I don't want to be super negative on that. But at the end of the day, they're going to loan you about 30% of what the fair market value of something is, and not much more. They'll come up with a lot of reasons and calculations not to do that. But you can negotiate some of that. That's why you need appraisers to help you appraise items before you go to the bank, so you can carry an appraisal with you, and that'll improve your chances to get more money for your collateral. So those are the steps that people will need to be able to get that extra money that maybe they need to help get the business started. But not counting the security areas, there's some other important things that the lender wants to know. He wants to know that if you, the borrower, have a wide vision, have a really good grip on the reality of this business you're getting ready to start. Do you understand what the business are? Do you understand what the risks are? What are the issues, the current issues in this particular business these days? Are you up to date? Are you on top of the market? What preparations have you made as you're making a presentation for a loan? Have you done a good job in creating a business plan? Do you have that available to them? Are you planning on being incorporated or not? And usually you are. Are you going to be on the line personally? And the answer will be yes. And do you understand how serious that is, that when you borrow money as an individual for a business, about the personal guarantees that you have to sign, which basically another word for it is a blanket lien. And when you do that, you're basically putting everything that you own and your spouse, usually your spouse owns, on the line. So just because it's called a business loan doesn't mean that your personal assets are free and clear, because they're not going to go for that. As you move into debt with small business, it gets really serious. Now, it sounds like that maybe I'm trying to say to you, forget it, you just can't get into business because you have to borrow money. Because so many people have said to me through the years, well, Steve, do I need to wait till I save up enough money not to go in debt to get my business started? And I have to say no, because if you wait that long, you may never get into business. So we do seek ways to alternative ways to get the cash we need, to get the flow we need to get our business up and running. And here's the good news. Don't try to do it all at one time. let's get started in a small way on a small foundation, raise the money we need to do, get started one step at a time, even if we call it a side hustle to begin with, but keep a positive attitude. Know that you're going to need the endurance to make it work for a long time. Didn't any new company start out in the real world hardly and automatically become a $1 billion business or even $1 million business? It takes time and perseverance to do it in a pretty good plan. And you know what? It takes some good help and some good counseling sometimes to make that happen. And I'm so glad that you're involved with me and our series and with the small business centers, because that's a good thing to do. The key information is, remember we talked about in our drill skills about the A, B, C, D, always connecting the dots. As we're talking and now we're getting started, we're getting our money together, we want to connect these dots in ways, making decisions. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about making dots, making decisions that make sense, and it all ties into a good plan. We want to remember that we do have risk, and that our dreams and our personal guarantees and things get in jeopardy. So we want to make sure we got a good sound footing and our documents are giving us the protection we need to make it work. We want to understand what the risks are with the business and automatically in advance have our plan together for risk management so that surprises don't knock us off the window. And these are things that a lot of people will go out and start a business, borrow some money from a friend or a relative and throw a lot of money into an enterprise, and 6 months later it's all gone and they don't have anything to show for it. That's sad. We don't want to do that. You want to build your business skills up. So when I'm talking about like enhancing skills like we'll start doing next week, that's important. You need to have the self-confidence that you've got the skills it takes to make it work. And if you don't personally have them, you know where to go get them and to get help. And that's where we come in to help at the small business centers. Now the business plan, the budget plan, linked together now with a marketing plan, creates a cash flow plan. All this goes together, and you can see that it's just not one step. It's just not one step, but it's a lot of steps that we can help you get started on, get your plan together, and make it work before you ever get to that bank to talk to the loan officer. And when you do, you're going to be in a lot better position. Let's have a little fun now. Do you need some money and are you down with the blues because you don't have any money? Well, let me say to you, maybe we'll just bust open that piggy bank and get some change out of that. Well, that'd be a pretty big piggy bank to get a business started. Or maybe you've got an aunt like I have. My Aunt Myrtle kept her extra money in the freezer through the years. And when we went on vacation, she would take us on vacation and she'd get that old money out of the freezer and dole it out to us. And you could smell the freezer odor on it. We called that her cold cash. And so maybe you've got a friend or a family member, or maybe you got some cold cash in the freezer that'll help you out of a jam. Or maybe you got some money buried out in the backyard. My grandmother, Carver, she had her money buried out in her yard in mason jars because she was the daughter of the Great Depression. And after people lived through the Depression, they didn't put their money in the banks for a lot of years, and they saved their money out in the yard in jars. The old mason jar was a lot of people's bank. And the true story is, when my dad decided to start the farm equipment business, Granny Carver loaned him $3,000 cash dollars out of a mason jar, and he got a loan, and him and two other guys with $3,000 apiece, they took their $9,000 and started a tractor business, and hence I'm still here today. But that business that was started with $9,000 in 1959 would probably cost about $6 or $7 million to start today. So things have changed. So it would take some mighty big mason jars out of the yard to make it work. But the reality is, during the last 19 years I've been doing these programs, I have seen entrepreneur after entrepreneur startup raise their own money, one sale at a time, going out and finding items at on the side of the farm, outside the field, or in the garage, or in the attic, having getting stuff together, collectibles, and selling them either at auctions or yard sales or junkyards if they were collecting junk or scrap metal. Be assertive, be inventive, look for ways to find items that you can buy and resell and make some money on, and start putting together a savings account to get your business started. Reality of it is, a lot of us have started our business with $3,000 or $4,000 or less, and some good work, hard work can help you raise some money in different ways. And don't become discouraged because you don't have enough money to start right now, but become excited about the fact, knowing that if you'll save your money and start doing some fundraisers and come to these programs and get some ideas and get some side hustles going on, those side hustles may become better businesses than you thought that you were going to go after. So out behind the barn with your relatives or friends, maybe there's stuff out there that you can say to them, hey, can I have this and sell it and help get my business started? Or if you'll let me sell this for you, we'll split it, or find a way to generate some cash and start saving some money to get started on your own. Treasures are out there to find for different people. I want to encourage you to consider doing plate sales, raising some money in your backyard. Put together, get your grill out there, cook a pig, cook some spaghetti, do a fish fry, go fishing, charge $12, $15 a plate, $10 a plate. If it's money that you're putting together and you're making money on it, enjoy doing it. Let people know you're trying to get your business started. Be proud of it. Don't be ashamed because you're doing a plate sale to help get the business started. The fact of the matter is that people that are buying these plates from you will become your raving fan customers because they're really going to be excited about helping you get your business started and to do that. So think about doing fundraiser dinners, just really in doing it. Spaghetti is one of the best money makers that you can make, least amount of cost to create the most money. Chicken plates are really good to have. I've seen a lot of our folks go together in fundraisers, cooperating with either a scout troop or their local church, or a Boy Scout troop, or American Legion, or a VFW unit doing a co-op, where that you encourage them to help you with the fundraiser, and y'all split the proceeds. I know it works. I know it can happen, and I've seen so many people do this. And usually a fundraiser in a small community that you plan for 60 to 90 days with a good plate sale, ticket sale program, you'll create probably $5,000 or $6,000 in profit. And you should split that in half. That's $3,000 to get your business started. And it can go a long, long way to do it, and become encouraged about. Maybe you do it all summer, maybe you do it all year, maybe you do it 2 years, but save that money, make it work, get a good plan, attend these sessions and talk to the right people to see how you can make that work. Promoting good. Here's an example of a fundraiser the First Baptist Church did and done earlier this year to make it work. Now, I've been involved in helping people do fundraising many, many years, probably 40 or more years. And I came up with a structure, an organizational structure. I call it the dozen doers. But if you can take a lot of people had never been involved in organizing a fundraiser, well, this will help you. And the basic plan here is you're going to find 12 people to help you with it. So you invite people over to your house or your backyard, and you have a cookout. And once everybody sits down, then you explain to them what it's all about. You're trying to get your business started, or maybe you've got a fundraiser you're doing other than business, and you need some help. And the way you get that help is you assign different people different jobs. You get them to volunteer for it. And indeed, you're going to need a project manager that you can 100% trust, and you're going to need a finance chairman you can 100% trust, make sure. And to put together an organizational plan and plan this fundraiser to take 3 to 6 months before it happens to give everybody enough time to get the planning done, to give you some time to have some organizational meetings and recruit more people, and you give different people different jobs, and then when it's ready to come off, you can just be amazed on what can happen. Bottom line in these fundraisers, lots of times as you get active and people get excited about it, folks will donate stuff. They'll donate the chicken, or they'll donate a pig, or they'll donate the potatoes, or they'll have an auction, bringing things in for a silent auction, or just a general cash contributions. It's amazing that when a group of people get excited about making something work, about how a community will pull together. This is exactly what you want to do as an entrepreneur getting started in your community with a grassroots base. Even if you're going to be strictly an internet business, even if you're a retail business not selling exactly within your community, it's important for you to have community support for you and your business. That goes a long, long way for you getting testimonials and for starting creating your raving fan customers. But a dozen doers works. I know it works. It's worked for me and many of my friends and families for a lot of years. The last one I was really active in was about 7 years ago. One of my friends had several types of cancer, and things were really tough, and their personal finances had gone to nothing. And they asked me to put together the fundraiser, where I volunteered to do it. His family and friends came together. 90 days, about 120 days later, we had a fundraiser on a Saturday night near Grove, North Carolina. It was just amazing. It was a barbecue and chicken plate sale. At the end of the day, we had $21,000 to give to the family. $21,000. That was pretty darn amazing, and I just believe in it. And the good news is the individual has gone through his cancer treatments and is still doing well today, still working in a limited basis, but that just lifted their spirits and just made the whole world a better place. So I want to tell you, the dozen doers things works. I've seen it work. If you're putting it together, I'll be glad to share information with you. Reality of it is, we talked about how the bankers might not be so friendly to a new business, and I understand that. It's not they're bad people. They just don't do cover their butt, and we understand it. And you got to have a lot of good things to make that loan go through. So many of us, like my daddy and so many others, end up saying, well, maybe my family will help me, or maybe I've got some friends that'll help me get my business started and loan me some money. Well, this is really important, and it's a reality, so I put it right in the program here. And it's for family and friends, but what I don't want you to do is make anybody a fool because they helped you. We don't want family, friends, and fools in this plan. We just want family, friends, and success. So let's talk about that a little bit. Oftentimes, you may have some family that has some money they can loan you. Maybe they have some savings or CDs or paid up insurance policies or some collateral they can offer you. And think about that. And I'm not here giving you a green light to go begging, but I'm giving you a green light to be savvy, because this may be the only way that you get your business started. But here's the truth of the matter. If you create a credit reference, that's a good thing. But if you can't get credit from the bank, how are you going to create a credit reference? Well, you can create a credit reference by borrowing money from family and friends. As long as it's documented and you pay them back, then you're creating a credible credit reference as good as any other. Matter of fact, sometimes it will be better. And so just know that, and know that if you're going to borrow money from loved ones and friends, make sure you do it in a strictly business way. You use the right documents. You borrow the money, you document it on your promissory note, and you pay it back, and you pay the interest. Pay interest more so than they're making at the bank. If people are going to offer to give you money, which is a real nice thing to do, I still suggest you put it on the promissory note. And when it comes time to pay them, then you come forward with the payment. And if they take the payment and give it back to you, that's fine. that's fine. But you still document it and you still make the payments because you want to create a credit reference, a good credit reference, and you do that. And if you bring that money to them and they just give it back to you as a gift, that's just fine. Or maybe you loan it back to them, which a lot of people ask you to do, because if you're paying it back, that's a good thing to do. But document it. Have everything documented, showing that you took the loan and you're making forward, and just borrow enough that you need to make it do it. But document it so you're creating this credit reference for you. Now, people are interested in loaning money because they're not making any interest at the bank. 2, 3, 4% if you're really lucky is all that you're going to get on savings. And if you're borrowing money on a business loan, then at the bank, if you're borrowing the money, you're going to be paying 6.5 to 20% for the money. So if you're offering a loved one or a friend or kinfolk borrowing money from them, if you're offering them 6% or 10%, they're making more money on you than they would at the bank. So yeah, let's do it. But you make sure that you're going to pay it back, and you do it exactly on time, if not early, and to do it right. Same things apply here. If you're borrowing the money, then offer them some collateral. Offer them something you own or something you're planning on owning in the business, so that indeed that they'll know that they have security in that and to do that. So this brings us to the documents, because that would have to be documented. And in the whole world for hundreds of years, the way loans have been documented in this world is through through a document, a loan document, and most commonly known as a promissory note. The promissory note, kind of like it sounds, you're making a promise, and it's a note, it's something that you're written on paper. And the promissory notes can be in a lot of different forms, be called different things like security agreements and just a lot of different loan document names that people use. But the fact of the matter is, whether you're borrowing money on your house or on your car or on your farm or on the dry cleaner, vacuum cleaner you're getting ready to buy, the loan document is going to end up being some type of promissory note. So that's why I wanted to talk about it, because it's got a two-edged sword for us tonight, one for borrowing and one for lending. So a promissory note is a contract that you and the lender or the borrower and the lender spell out all the details. What they're buying, what the interest rate is, what the amount is, what is the payment plan, what happens if you're paying off early, what happens if you're late, what's the bad news, how are the people going to protect their interest, everything being listed down. So borrowing money from family and friends is just not going up to Aunt Myrtle and say, hey, can I borrow some money? And maybe not having any intent of paying it back. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm saying, look, I'm getting ready to start a business. I would appreciate if you consider loaning me some money to get it started. I want it documented. I want to pay you a good amount of interest back. And when it's over with, I want you to be able to say that I paid you back, and you'll be a good credit reference for me. It's two-edged, two good things here. Number one, you're going to help me get started. Number two, you're going to help me create a good credit reference for the future. To do that, everything needs to be documented. You can do it just by writing it down in hand. That's fine. It won't hold much weight. It won't look good. And I say, no, we're not going to do that, because you can get a sample promissory note from any lawyer, from any banker. You can print it off the internet. I'll send you one, and it looks like just like this document that's in front of you and that's in your handout. It's just got a lot of blank spaces to fill in, all the blanks about the business transaction. So there is no doubt whatsoever, all the questions are answered on the promissory note. So that if things go well, you can document it. But if things go bad, you can take this note and go to the court and indeed collect your money from it. So let's talk about that a little bit, about how important it is, and it has everything spelled out. Now, at some point in time, my friend, there's a good chance that you're going to have a lot of money, that you're going to earn a lot of money. You're going to be a very successful business person. And part of what you're doing in business may be that you're loaning money, or that you're financing your services or your products for your customers. through the years, I've had a chance to do all of that with my businesses, rent-to-own plans, rent-to-lease plans, financing items, such as that. And everything needed to be documented. So now maybe it's all about borrowing the money, but maybe you're going to change your business. That part of your profit center is going to be loaning money or financing items or lease-to-own items. And that's when this promissory document, promissory note is going to be your primary document to create revenue for your business. So it's very important that you understand that it's available to you. You can fill in the blanks as good as anybody else. However, as you're first getting started, I suggest you get some professional help. Someone that's been doing it for a while, loaning money or working with installment contracts to give you some pointers and look over what you're up to. It'll be an excellent idea for have your CPA or your accountant to look over your loan documents, get their opinion on them, because they'll spot things that us folks that aren't in that world might miss. So that's going to be a good investment of time to get advice from them. If it's a large amount of money that you're either borrowing or that you're owning, or it's got some iffy stuff in it, it's definitely the right thing to do to have your CPA review the document and give you tips on it on things you might want to consider. Next, when you're doing this, when you're preparing the document or someone's putting it in front of you, I want you to remember something, and that is the person preparing the document, any loan document, the person that's doing the preparation is certainly going to slant it in their favor. They're going to look after their interests first and your interests second. And that doesn't mean they're doing anything bad. That's just business. If I don't pay the time to have somebody prepare this document, I don't make sure that I'm looking after my interests first. So following that up, there's nothing at all wrong for you looking at a document, and before you sign it, make sure that you understand everything there. And right now, and for the rest of your life, you're going to start looking at this document that someone else has prepared with the mindset, well, I'm sure they prepared to protect their interests first. That's right. And it's good. And there's nothing wrong with you saying that directly to the person you're looking at doing business with. And it's perfectly okay for you to say, now, I looked at this, and it's considering to me that maybe we need to change this line and make this adjustment in it. And maybe we need to adjust this line here before you sign it. It's absolutely imperative that you look after your interest and just don't accept documents that are put in front of you, because I'm going to tell you right now that probably 99% of those documents can have some changes made to it by the person that's presenting it to you, that it won't make a bit of difference to them whether you change it or not, but it might make a world of difference to you with what you have to do to fulfill your obligations. And maybe you just want to push the envelope as far as you can to change it to help your situation. This deal needs to be a win-win deal for you and for them. So just don't accept documents that are put in front of you. Carry them to your CPA, carry them to an advisor, carry it to someone that is used to seeing these documents that might know the pitfalls. You don't have to sign that document right now. Say, let me take this and consider it. I'll maybe get a friend to look at it with me. And then you come back with say, we need to change this, 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 and this. And if they don't, then you make the decisions you want to make. But push for it. Stand your ground, okay? It needs to be a win-win for both of you to do that. Now, after the document's done, it becomes now the whole reason that maybe you're going to be able to collect your money or someone's going to be able to collect from you. So just because it's been signed, it is a legal document and you can carry it to court. But there's several ways that you can make it more legal. And making it more legal is what you call perfecting your lien. That is making sure that this lien document will hold up in court, that you have perfected it to the best you can. So what are some things that we can do to perfect our document? Well, one, of course, is to get someone to witness the signatures. Sign there that I saw you and them sign this, and I know that you're who you say you are, and such as that. Remember that a witness is not saying that they understand the terms of the document. Matter of fact, witnesses don't even have to read the document. They have to read those signatures and see the ID to satisfy that it is you and not someone else that they're saying made that signature. So that's what witnesses do. They say, I know these people that signed it and I saw them do it. Therefore, they can't say they didn't sign it and someone else did. Next, the most professional witness you can get is one called a notary public, and that's when you notarize documents. So, like things like wills and testaments, for folks that are doing it, sometimes they'll have them witnessed. They have two people that are witness to signatures, and then they have a notary, the third person that is witnessing the witnesses and the signature. So that's really doubling up on it when you can get that notary seal on it. The notary seal brings another sense of legality to it, because a notary is an officer of the court, a representative of the clerk of court. And before a notary can sign those documents and put their seal on them, which represents the state of North Carolina, they are saying that I am swearing that all this is true. And when that document gets in front of a magistrate or a judge, it holds a lot of weight. Very few people are going to challenge the legality of the notary. However, sometimes it can be done. So I'll say that, but there's nothing that's 100%. Now, having that done is really important. But I want to say to you, the most important part of this is that you make sure that that very important document to you, after it's been witnessed and notarized, goes to the clerk of court. I mean the Register of Deeds in the county where the business was done, and that document becomes part of the public record. It's not really big time perfected until it's registered as a public record at the Register of Deeds. Why? Because the date of the deal, when you come up to in a court in an argument, the date, the chronological order of liens being filed is super important. So let's say that someone has a lien that's been placed on a piece of property that's been foreclosed on, and now the debtors want to get paid, want to get the money that's owed to them. And the piece of property bought in $100,000. Well, it had two people had liens on it. Both people had a lien for $100,000, and it bought $100,000. Well, does that mean that the court is going to give each one of the lien holders $50,000 apiece? No. The lien holder that filed their document, had it registered, first gets the $100,000. The second person gets zero. So it's important that when you're doing a legal document, as certifying a loan or a lien on something, that you make sure that before the money is even passed, like in a real estate deal, that those records are filed at the courthouse, and that's giving you the protection you need. Now, let me tell you, just going over there and filing it is one thing, but someone needs to make sure that someone hadn't already filed on that property. So that's where lawyers come into play. People go and they search the records and make sure that this property doesn't have any prior liens on it. So on big deals, important deals, you make sure that you have an attorney do it, and they search the record, and you get that protection then, because the attorneys have to certify to you that it's free and clear, and if in the future something comes up, then they have to pay any damages that were done. Now, of course, they have big insurance that looks after their needs in doing that. So let me tell you, this is real. I personally have been burned for more than $200,000 in the past, because my lawyer, who I thought was taking care of something, was taking care of registering his deeds, as he had done in many things in the past, failed to do it on some important documents for me. And things went south, and I was not able to come back and collect the liens that I had on this property. So I have paid the cost for this lesson. Please don't you pay it again. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Make sure you check out anything that you're borrowing on or that you're selling to someone that you're where a lien is involved. You make sure that it is free and clear of other liens and you've got it properly documented, because if things go south, you won't have anything left to protect yourself if you didn't do these things right. Pay attention to that. Really a big deal. So big caution now. Where are you going to find the money? Who can loan you money out there? Family and friends. Community-based banks. That's the small banks that are owned by local people in your community. And you've got larger banks, of course, credit unions, which loan money, government agencies like SBA, Small Business Administration, some private organizations like the Committee of 100s in different counties, and then you have angel investors. Those are individuals, not institutions, that loan money to entrepreneurs to get started. Now, a word here, a lot of you may have banking relationships with a credit union. So I need to give you a little tip of information here. Credit unions are wonderful and usually very flexible, look after their members quite well. But credit unions are not legally able to loan money on a small business loan, on any business loans. They're all about personal loans. So if you're planning on getting money to help get your business started through some way related to the credit union and maybe a line of credit that you have there, then I have to caution you that when you are presenting the reason that you're getting some money on your credit line is that you don't mention small business at all. You just say you're doing a personal project. Now, your personal project may be business related or something else. You just don't have to say what you're doing. So if you mention starting an entrepreneur project, starting a small business, and that's the sole reason you're borrowing that money, they're not going to be able to help you. So when you go there to borrow that money, just say, I'm taking care of some personal items for me and my family, okay? And then it's up to you to move forward from there. Government agencies like SBA, Small Business Administration, we hear about them a lot, especially with FEMA loans and otherwise. And I've had personal experience with SBA for many, many years. After a disaster we had in the state, I was able to get a disaster loan to save my company. They gave me long terms and low interest rates, and it saved us, no doubt about it. It made all the difference in the world. But I want to tell you that is a long-term process to get an SBA loan. I want to tell you, if you can get one within a year after you get the process started, count your blessings. Maybe 9 months would be more like the shortest I've ever heard from. In 4 or 5 years, I've heard several like that. When I got my loan at the time, and this was 50 years ago, I guess, well, not 50, but 30 years ago, it took about 9 months to get it in, and I worked hard on it and used pretty much all the bells and whistles I had to do, but it still took a long time, but we got it done. So just don't get in a hurry with that. Private organizations, a lot faster. They're going to ask you for the basic information. When you go to anyone to ask for a loan, you're going to need to bring some proof of your credit worthiness, your history of paying bills. You got to prove you paid your taxes. Got to have tax returns to show to people. Probably a good idea to have your budget, your business plan, your marketing plan, and be able to explain it really well. Angel investors are individuals with money to loan. Usually these angel investors are the stockholders in the local banks. So when I mention the local banks, when you go to those websites and you check in who are the board of directors, lots of times those board of directors are also angel investors. They've got their money in the bank, but they would like to make more money, and so that's one way to find them. You may not know any angel investors tonight, but when you see these board of directors, then you're going to start seeing some names you recognize, and maybe if you don't know them, you know someone that does. Now, I mention this to you because when you're borrowing money from the local bank, and an angel investor, there's several key important things to learn. One, the local bank lender, the local banker institution that usually is not going to have an interest in taking and owning any stock in your company, a piece of the stock. But angel investors will. Oftentimes they want a percentage of the stock for the long term. So not only are you going to pay them back the money, but you're also going to pay them back with some dividends later on. If you ever watched a TV show, Shark Tank, you'll see that all the time. They offer a certain amount of money, but they also want a certain amount of the stock. So the devil's in the details there, and you want to look at that real carefully, and you want to make sure that you don't give them more stock than you want to do. What is the difference in an investor and a partner? Remember now, partners are going to loan you money or give you money to get the business started or invest in it. And the partners will take the same risk that you're taking. If the business makes money, they make money. If it loses money, they lose money. They can lose their own money. An investor, he's going to get paid back. He or she is going to get paid back whatever that promissory note said, a certain payment on a certain date. Neither one of these, just on the surface, have a right to tell you how to run your company unless you give them that right. And I suggest that you don't go there. Now, with partnerships, you might have to, and we'll talk about that a little later on. But remember, just because someone is loaning you money to your company doesn't mean they can come in and tell you who to hire and who to fire and who to sell stuff to at a cheap price or this or that. And lots of times, individuals in small towns just get a feeling that if I don't loan you money, I don't tell you how to run the business, and I'm due special consideration. Not true. However, if it's documented, and there's that promissory note thing, if it's documented, that's a different situation. So if you don't loan money to someone to start a business and you want that power, you want that authority, it has to be spelled out in that promissory note. So keep that in mind. The main figure to remember is 51%. If you own less than 50% stock in your business, someone else can put you out of business. Maybe you've invested more than any of the other investors, but when they come together, they own more than 50% of the stock. They can fire you and run you off, and they don't run the business from now on. So be careful when you're out talking about trying to raise money. I would appreciate if you'll make investment in my business, and for that investment, I'll give you X amount of stock. Forget that. Forget saying I'm going to give you X amount of stock. Do say we'll fill out a promissory note to make sure you get back your money with interest on the certain dates, and then we move on happy campers, and I'll move on from there. So let that be the starting conversation, not that I'll give you some stock to move forward with. Now, the great news that a lot of you may not realize is that if you need to buy some expensive equipment or furnishings or computer work or things like that, a lot of the most expensive items that you may have to buy to get your business up and running, like a backhoe or a trailer or a tractor or a sewing machine or an industrial saw or some type of logging equipment, these really expensive items, lots of times the people that sell those have their own finance plans. And oftentimes they're very competitive and very reasonable and a little bit easier to get into than trying to get money through the bank. That's good news. So you'll talk to the people that are selling you whatever it is that you've got to have that costs a lot of money. And if they don't bring it up to begin with before you close the deal, you might say, do you have a financing arm or a financing arrangement to help me get this and move into it? And if they do, that's great. But if they don't, now we're going to get into the negotiating stuff. I would suggest to them, well, let me consider this because I really need to find a vendor that can help me with financing. And you just may be surprised how this person that you were talking to that said they couldn't help you just a second ago said, oh yeah, let me take a look at this. Because you want to try to free up your bank financing for special needs and for running your general business operation, not to buy particular high-ticket items that wrap you up and close you out for future flexibility with your financing. Lots of ways to get started too, and that things that you just don't have to get started right up front with a lot of money in the bank. Sometimes you can offer customers pre-sales, free service, pre-selling of products. They pay you now, pay you a deposit on it, help you get started, do it, and then you deliver later. These type of arrangements are all built on trust. And your trust, your core values have everything to do with whether or not you can do pre-sales and have customers to trust you with their money in advance for you to deliver products later on. Every week on TV, we see somebody on TV complaining that some business person said they were going to do this and do that. They took their money and they didn't come through. I don't want any member of the academy here to ever be on TV being accused of doing that. If you take people's money in front, you come through, you do what you need to do, and you live up to your word. When you do that, at the end of the day, you're going to be happy, the customer's going to be happy, and you're going to be in a position to have a sustainable business with them for a long, long time. So keep that in mind. So now you're open, now you're running, now you're bringing in some money. What do you need to be concerned about? Know that daily cash flow has to stay in front of you. Know that if things are getting tight, then you look for ways to add profit centers. Find ways to make more money from other groups of people. Think about how you can grow your business all the time, because whatever you're doing now, there's a good chance it will get soft or slow one day. So you always want to be looking for new profit centers. You want to fix the small problems before they become big crises. So you can't just sit back and procrastinate on something you know that's wrong, that's going wrong. You got to put it on the front burner and go ahead and make it happen. So what are the things we can do to help create that cash flow to improve our products? Remember, the word is turn. Inventory turnovers. We don't need to overstock items. We don't need to tie up our money in stock that's not turning. Be selective in items that we put in stock. And if items aren't turning over quicker, we find a way to get rid of them, turn them into cash, and put that cash into ways that's making you money. Eliminate waste, stretch the dollars as far as you can, and then look around to see if there's some old items, some old inventory, some old assets that are just being stagnant, that maybe you can take this or that and sell it, turn it into cash, and invest it into something that you can create products to sell and create inventory. New profit centers are the way you create upsells as soon as you possibly can. So keep open for that. Now be careful. Here's a word of caution. You just don't need to add this, this, and this, and this. Don't add profit centers that you can't manage properly. If you get too much stuff that you're not managing, you're going to wear yourself down thin, and you're not going to be good at anything. You just got a lot of stuff that you've got going on and not making money on anything. So as you add profit centers, make sure you're maximizing their earnings ability for you. Remember, if things get slow, or you forecasting that things are headed for a downward trend, you want to really think about getting back in touch with your regular raving fan customers. Talk to them about what's on their mind, about what you can be doing to get more business from them. This is where you really determine, have you got the things they need, and have you got the things they want? And if you don't have them, then you put yourself in gear to make them part of your offering to your customers. Super important to do that. Remember what I said about the credit institutions and the bankers? Be in touch with the banks that you plan to borrow money from. See if you can get to know the bank directors, any of the loan officers, anybody that you can get to know on a first name basis or get introductions to is really important. There's a fact that's true in the whole world, so much in this business. It is not what you know, it's who you know. It's not what you know to get a business loan. Oftentimes, it's who you know. So as you're thinking about doing that, you figure out who you can know, to what we like to say, grease the tracks, so that when your loan application hits that loan officer's desk, it goes on the top of the pile and not the bottom of the pile. It goes a long way to make that happen. As we're up and running and you start making some money, don't, just because you've created a little reserve, don't get paying off your long-term debts. Hold on to a reserve account and pay your debts on time. If you got some credit card issues or some lenders issues, and you get a bill in, go ahead and send that check in the same day you get the bill. Pay the minimum amount, get it on there, because paying your bills on time is great, but paying your bills early really can help improve your credit standards. Sometimes if you're borrowing some money, you might want to consider borrowing the money for 12 months, and then as soon as you get your money, go ahead and pay the interest in advance. Lenders love that. They want to see that customer come back. Oftentimes it doesn't hurt you at all, especially if it's a fairly small loan, but it's an excellent way to start building your relationship with your lenders or your suppliers. Remember that the three most important marketing words, the three most ways to help produce more cash flow every week, every month, is to remember, by the way. When you can do more upsells, you're going to really see your cash flow improve and do better, because you're going to sell 3 times as much stuff to the same number of customers, simply by saying, and by the way, we've also got this, would you like to do that? And we got some takeaways that we need to consider. Most important, so concentrate on this one and make some notes if you want. Forecasting means that you're looking down the road in advance, thinking about when bills are going to come due, when payments are going to come due, and you have an awareness of it. You're not obsessed with it, but what you want to do is to avoid cash crunches before they happen. And you do that by thinking about things that are coming and start pigeonholing or putting aside your money so that you will have the right amount of money when that debt does come due and you don't get in a past due situation. The psychology of saying, I'm going to borrow my way out of debt or out of problems is not good. The best psychology to have is, I'm going to sell my way out of problems, and I'm going to do fresh bait marketing. Keeping as a part of our fundamental way we're staying in business to keep sending out constant promotions is the way that you keep having constant cash flow. You don't go to sleep on this. You don't relax on it. You keep it up. And the word of caution is the autonomy and understanding of how important it is to understand that a personal guarantee is a big deal. And we're just not going to go run and borrow money from a financial institution or anywhere else that's having us to sign a blanket lien. And when you do sign a blanket lien in a promissory note or any other way, you make sure you read it real carefully. You make sure you have someone else read it for you with a legal sense to what if things go south, what actually are these people going to be able to come and get from you? And are they going to be able to take the property as a hold and keep it whatever it brings? Or are they going to be required to take that property and sell it? And if it brings more than what is owed on it, they have to give you a refund for the difference. A lot of people play this game and don't give that refund for how much more it bought than what was owed on it. You need to be really careful there, because it's all about how that promissory note is written up. This is a biggie. Put a big check mark beside that on your notes. How about a quiz? Everybody ready for a quiz? I'm uncertain for a time. Yeah, we're ready more early. We're good, okay? Okay, how about going over? Hey, S.L. Mackey, good to have you back with us tonight. Glad to see you. Now, let's go over to the chat board and get ready. Get ready for what we're going to do. And yes, this presentation will be mailed out, Elva. I mailed this out to you in advance if you had pre-registered, and I'll mail you the quiz with the answers tomorrow so you'll have them to refer back to. So is everybody ready? How about it? If your startup business is currently running low on operational cash, what is the best piece of advice to follow? How about that? Panic immediately and apply for every loan you can get. Pause all marketing to stave that promotional expenses. Do not borrow your way out of trouble, but build a marketing plan to help you sell. Wait for customers to pay whenever they feel like it. What do you think? What's your answers, guys? How about over in chat? Let me see how many answers I can get. Well, here they come. Type them in. Thank you, Estelle. I agree with you and Raymond. Elva, I think you're right too. There you go. Keep them coming. I want to see everybody over on the chat board. Let's get involved with this by typing it in. It will help you remember them. Therefore, it becomes a learning process. It looks like most of y'all are answering up. The correct answer is C, and that's exactly right. Congratulations. Borrowing your way out of cash flow problems builds bad habits and high debt. My 55 years of experience dictates that instead of borrowing, let's put out some fresh bait marketing, send those promotions out, and let's sell our way and create more cash flow. You are exactly right. Okay, and number two, which statement is true regarding government grants for profit small business startups? Grants are free money but widely available. Grants are almost never found for any nonprofit business. Grants will always cover 100% of your startup costs. Local banks automatically award grants to anyone with a business plan. What do y'all think about that? Okay, Raymond is saying B. Who agrees with Raymond? Estelle does. What do y'all think? Alva thinks so, B. So let's see what the board says here. Correct answer is B. It's a common myth that government handouts with free money are available to large companies. In reality, grants for for-profit businesses are almost non-existent. How about that? Absolutely right. Number three, when applying for a business loan, what does it matter? What does a lender mean by saying skin in the game? What do they mean when they say skin in the game? Who's got the answers for that? The number of hours you plan to work, the business owner's credit card limits, the down payment, how much of your own cash you are putting into money, you're putting into business, or the number of years that you have been out of school. What do y'all think about that? What does skin in the game mean? Okay, some of you aren't participating. I want to see you over here on that chat board. Show me that you're with me, okay? Skin in the game. Correct answer is C. That's exactly right, no doubt. Lenders will not take 100% financial risk. They want to know that the owner is putting some of their own money in the business. Number four, to secure a promising new business loan, traditional lenders often look for collateral valued at, this is collateral now, 0, because your business idea is not secure enough, half of the total loan proceeds, exactly equal to the loan proceeds, or 2 or 3 times the loan proceeds. So how much collateral do you have to put up to borrow a certain amount of money? What do you think the right answer is? And this is estimated, of course, and will vary from time to time. But the message is here, you don't need to go in thinking that because you got something worth $100, they're going to loan you $100 on it. So my friends over here are hitting D, and D is the correct answer because the bankers are going to CYA themselves to make sure that whatever collateral is, it's going to bring in enough to cover the debt. Number 5, if you sign a business loan with a personal guarantee document, what is at risk if the business cannot pay it back? Only the money sitting in the bank account, only the physical inventory owned by the corporation, virtually everything you and your spouse own now or acquire in the future due to the blanket lien, or nothing because it is incorporated fully protects your personal property. What do you think about that, guys? What's the right answer? Well, we're getting some folks that are saying C, and C is the right answer. The personal guarantees don't have a lien on everything, including your bulldog, your toothbrush, your car, and anything else that you hope to own. But this is where you want to go read those loan documents and make sure what they say is covered, because it's all spelled out in there, and you do have the option to ask for changes. Number 6, what is an effective non-debt strategy for maintaining a steady awareness of future payments due dates? What is an effective non-debt strategy? Keeping a calendar to pigeonhole future payments based on their due dates, in other words, forecasting. Waiting until a bill collector calls you. Paying bills only when you have excess money. Shredding bills so they don't cause you any stress. What do you think about that, guys? All right, thank you all for chiming in there. Let's see what the book says. It's A, yes, pigeonhole that money and forecast it so you'll be ready when the bill comes. According to yours truly, stay in power strategy. What is the best way to choose profit centers for long-term business success? Now, y'all have heard me say this a lot. Offer only one single item that's highly trendy. Offer several market profit centers of things that people really need. Focus on luxury items. Copy whatever the closest big box store has on sale. What do you think? What's the best strategy when you're deciding on what to add? Well, let's see what the answer is. It's B. Yes, we want to focus on things people need and then have things that people want. By having a mix in that diversity, you're able to make a sale and then automatically say, and by the way, because people will keep coming back to you to buy stuff even when times are bad if you've got things that they need. And if you've got things they want, they'll always pick up some impulse items as well. Number 8, in a formal promissory note, what does the prepayment clause typically allow the borrower, the maker of the loan, to do? Now, I didn't mention this specifically in those, so let me see what y'all would think about this. It's called a prepayment clause, and this is where reading these documents are important. Pay off a note early at any time without a premium or penalty. Delay the first payment up to 6 months without interest. Skip payments if the business experiences cash flow crisis. Automatically reduce the interest rate by half. Well, now I want you to know that when you're reading and editing a loan document, all these items could have been edited in or out. But one of these answers is common business practices. So which one do you think that is? And it's, let's see, I think we got some dissension here. Everybody got the right answer out there? Normally that prepayment clause is saying, and that gives you the right to pay off the debt early without being penalized. In other words, if you pay it off early, you don't have to pay the full amount of interest that was mentioned there. So again, this is a great example of you may think you know something automatically, but it's good that if you're unsure of it to go back and visit these items, because this would be a very important factor if you're borrowing money for 5 or 6 years and something comes along, something good comes along, and you decide that you can pay it off in 2 or 3 years, you don't want to have to pay the interest for 5 or 6. So that has to be spelled out in the promissory note or any loan document. Keep that in mind. Number 9, what is the financial danger of failing to keep fresh bait, constant promotions going out in the market? Your bank will automatically cancel your line of credit. Your sales funnel will dry up, leading to financial critical cash flow stress events. You will save too much money on advertising, or your business plan projections will become complex to read. What do you think there, guys? Thank you, Chesley. Appreciate you joining in. Let's see. It's B. If you quit sending the promotions out, your cash flow is going to dry up. It's just that simple. So you got to be disciplined and keep those constant promotions going out. Where should an early stage entrepreneur go first in North Carolina to access a treasure chest of free business counseling and networking resources? a high-fee national consulting firm, an online predatory lender platform, the local small business center at the community college, an out-of-state crowdfunding agency. We talked about this a lot. I want to nail it down how important this could be for you. So what do y'all think? Getting a lot of good answers there. Let's see what it is. And it's C. There's no doubt about it. The small business centers are institutions like the ones at James Spruck that's going to offer you free, confidential counseling resources and local networking doors that can be opened, designed just particularly to help you in your particular area. Don't forget the small business center and how important they are. Let's bring it in for a landing now. Next Thursday, remember, we're going to be enhancing business skills. Very important. We can't study this enough and improve our skills more. What are the next actions you want to take? Make sure you're in touch with your small business center. Refine your business plans. Do your forecasting. Pay attention to these baseline quizzes and put in your mind that it's a priority for you to stay in touch with them. Know that I'm looking forward to hearing from you, to see your homework assignments coming in, and help you any way that I possibly can. Find your inspiration every day. Take time to be still, to know you're not in this by yourself. I invite you to meet my friend Jesus. He will help you any way that he can, or to find inspiration where you can in your religion, in your music, in your reading. But meditate and think about, take some time, some quiet time to think about the challenges that you're there, to meditate on priorities that you want to do, to give yourself a chance to say, what can I do to be a better person, to be a better business person? Sometimes we get so caught up in the noise of the world that it's time just to take a break and meditate, set aside some time and fill that void with good things, with good thoughts. Situational awareness means that we're going to do our best to put ourselves in situations that's going to bring us positive results. Put ourselves in the company of good people that will give us good results. Try to find the time to do that. Every day, find that inspiration. Stay in touch with me. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And thank you so much for tonight. We've got some new folks with us. We're glad to have you. Join us on a regular basis. I'd appreciate your comments and look forward to seeing that homework start coming in. Some of you have not sent me your mission, vision, and promise statements, and that's really important for you. So please try to work on that. Any comments?
Thank you, Steve.
And thank you very much.
I come across an issue that I don't know how to react to if you've got time.
You come across an issue that what?
That I've crossed and don't know how to handle this.
I'll be glad to help.
So I had 3 jobs lined up this week, which is fantastic for me. I had 1 call in, and then Friday wasn't added. Those 2 were both rush jobs. How do I space this out for a constant process of cash flow when everything is based off of customers' needs without putting them off?
Well, oftentimes that is a difficult situation. There's no right and wrong answer to it, Ray. But I would say this: being honest and frank, and just being upfront with your customer for your long-term relationship with the customer is make sure you're being honest and you're talking about that their urgency doesn't have to be your problem. Just remember that, and you have to guard against it, because if you let their urgency become your problem and your urgencies, then it really screws up your business. Does that make sense to you? So just always having this open honesty with the customer. Let's talk about it and say, I want to do this for you. I need this business, but how soon do you need it done that I'll be able to satisfy you? And if they give you an answer that you can't do, just say, well, maybe I need to pass this time so you'll let me work for you in the future because I can't meet your needs. So upfront and honesty may cost you $1 today, but make your money down the road.
I had an open spot today. Because this morning I went out and diagnosed a boat and had it all done up. Thank God the customer never got hurt, but he called me, so I went out and fixed his stuff. While the rest of the day was free, this other customer called in asking for me to come out and look at a lower unit. Turns out it's a lower unit shot. But now I've got 2 other customers that are requesting services the same week, but I want to keep that constant cash flow coming in, and I don't know what next week holds yet.
Well, it's a good problem to have, Ray. And if this continues in such a way that it's steady for you, then it's time for you to think about hiring somebody to help you, even if it's part-time.
Well, I've got my son, and I don't mind. It's not that I'm being busy. I need to be busier. Talking about that constant cash flow.
Absolutely. It's got to come. And that's going to be your not only is it a big challenge today, but as your business grows and in different seasons, of course, it's just going to flood in. So people just need to know they need to call you as soon as possible and understand that you're a busy fella, and remind them the reason you're busy is because you're good and you're worth waiting for.
Yeah, my Google process right now is 30 customer interactions.
Very good. Glad to hear that.
That's within the first 40 days.
That's good news.
My next door, all my posts I've been posting up there has hit an over 600 population.
Yeah. Well, the service provider that is honest with his customers, and even to the point of saying, I know you need it this week, but it might be month after next. Just tell them the way you see it.
Okay, because right now I got to tell them to get busy. Everybody's a month behind.
Yeah, that's right. So good luck with that, and I hope the business keeps coming.
Yeah, me too. Thank you, Ginni.
Thank you, Ray. Okay, any other comments? It's good to have you all with us tonight. Well, like we say on Walton's Mountain, good night, John Boy. Y'all take care and God bless you.
Good night, everyone.